Welcome to today's finds and why I bought them. Today, my husband Mike and I left home and ran across two yard sales just a block apart. Even though it was the second day and late in the afternoon, something we normally don't do, but so glad we did. Follow me to the shop and I will share all the details. First, I want to introduce myself if you're not familiar. My name is Treva, a vintage seller for over 30 years and want to share my knowledge, tips in all aspects of selling vintage lighting and home decor. You can find us just Google Mod Retro Living. Subscribe to our channel, YouTube at Mod Retro Living. Also find us on Etsy, eBay, Cherish, Facebook, and Instagram. We made it to the shop, pull up a stool, relax, and take note. Mike and I picked up a few good finds. One of the yard sales had 70% off everything, and they still had a ton of stuff. The second one didn't have a lot, but still managed to find a treasure or two. I found this nice sturdy black metal riser shelf for $3. And the same one can be purchased on Amazon right now for $25. I will keep this for myself to use in the shop to help with some organization. I will post a link in the comments if interested in checking out the live listing for this nice little shelf. Vintage hardware is getting very hard to find. I found these today, a pair of brass shelf brackets for $20. I find a lot of drawer knobs, but rarely find brackets, entry door knobs, handles, knockers, anything that is decorative, people can use for restorations or DIY. At the same place, I found this wall hook, paid $10 for it. This old Ford emblem was found at the 70% off yard sale. I paid $3. I normally don't buy this type of vintage treasures unless it had something to do with Dodge or Plymouth, since Mike is a Dodge person and is known as the Mopar man in our area. He is known as Me Mike online. Anyway, since it was so cheap I had to buy it. I found this at the smaller yard sale for only $5. It had 10 crystals on this quality vintage brass torchlier table lamp. Elle laid the lamp on its side to look at the bottom, and I broke one of the arms. Since I only paid $5 for it, I wasn't too upset. I took all the parts off and placed in my stash and turned the base into a packing tape holder. I was using a paper towel holder, however, it was too short and didn't hold all of the rolls. Next, I bought this very nice coffin-style box. It is in great condition and paid $3. If you come across vintage boxes made of wood, brass, copper, or other quality material, always buy found cheap. Also, any kind of old folk art type boxes. Candle holders are good sellers, but the market is so flooded with them. When looking for them to resell, look for special, unique, a well-known designer made, or they need to be oversized in order to make a nice profit. I usually only buy wood or quality metal. Well, on this pair I made an exception for these barely vintage ones. They are a composite material, a pair of tall candle holders. The finish is unique but a reproduction of a French hand-painted toll pair. I will likely ask for $200 to $300 for these. I also found this roll of rattan for $4. It's about 3 feet. It looks a little faded in the center, which makes it even more perfect if I found an old stool or chair that needs repaired. This piece would cost about $50, so this goes in my stash. Next, if a box of brand new dropper-lidded bottles. I bought 8 for $2. You can buy online for about $20. I will use these for homemade remedies and cleaners for around our shop and home. The African craved bookends are a slow sell unless you sell really cheap. However, they will sell eventually, and since they are only $10, I bought them. That is it for our finds today. Mike and I appreciate you hanging out in the shop today and hope you gain some knowledge from these old vintage sellers, Mike and Treva. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you will get notified of any new videos as they drop. Thanks, and may the profits be with you.